Joining us now, dear friend and comrade in this struggle for all things that we as Democrats and liberals and progressives think are right. Her husband was the general chair of the Democratic Party during the Clinton administration. She is the chair of the Democratic Party of South Carolina. Carol Fowler joins us now. Carol, how are you?
How are you? I'm so glad to talk to you again.
Likewise. It's always good to talk to you. You been taking care of yourself?
Well, I have, and you?
I'm good. I'm doing just fine. Isn't our president something?
Oh my goodness. Did last night's speech remind you of why we voted for him?
Well, let me just make a confession. I had been a little critical. I felt like the White House was being a little too timid, not pushing back. But he got up there last night, and all of that just went away. I mean, he can pull a rabbit out of a hat. It's like several callers have said, Carol, I can't even take credit for this myself. They've compared him to Muhammad Ali and rope-a-dope. You know, you just kind of back up and let your opponents take punches until they get tired, and you come out and knock them out. And I mean, that's what he did last night. It was unbelievable.
It was. He was sensational, but he is sensational.
Yeah. He's something else. He's something else. Well, but then your fellow South Carolinian, Carol, in general, is there something in the water that? Cause, I mean, you're okay. You must drink. You drink bottled water, don't you?
Oh my goodness!
I mean, between your governor, we haven't even talked about his stuff and his Romeo and Juliet Shakespearean poetry.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, that's enough of an embarrassment. While he's blocking the stimulus, he's on one, he's texting block the stimulus on one hand and texting love poetry on the other. But I mean, there's sometimes, Carol, some things just boil down to, psychology. Some of these folk aren't well. What is wrong with Joe Wilson? Tell us about him. Where did he come from?
Well, Joe Wilson has been in South Carolina politics for a good long while. He served a good many years in the state legislature and waiting for this congressional seat to open up. It was held by Floyd Spence, who was they were longtime friends and allies. And
I see.
The minute Spence died, Wilson ran for that seat. And he was big buddies with Strom Thurmond, all of that. But in fact, he was such a fan and admirer of Strom Thurmond that when oh my gosh, I'm blank on her name.
Essie Mae Washington Williams.
Essie Mae Washington came forward and said that she had indeed had Strom Thurmond's child. Joe Wilson called her a liar, and just went nuts over the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he eventually had to admit that he was wrong on that one, but he couldn't believe such a thing of old Strom. But he's been around. He's not a particularly substantive person. He doesn't. His idea of being a congressman is that he has a whole lot of keychains with his name on them, and he gives those to anybody who comes to his office or anybody he sees. He always rides in all the community parades. But he introduces no legislation. He works for no legislation. He just doesn't. That's not what he does.
So he's just a placeholder.
He is just a placeholder. And so, of course, many South Carolinians believe that government is bad, so I suppose that fits the mold.
Yeah, don't do anything.
Don't want government doing anything.
Don't do anything. That is incredible. And now Rob Miller, is Rob Miller his only opponent right now?
He is. He's his only Democratic opponent. He was the Democratic nominee 2 years ago.
Right. And I heard it was close, wasn't it?
It was much closer than it ever has been in that district. We did better in that district than we have for as long as I've been around voting in that district, which has been 30 years or something. So it was still several points. It was about 6 points.
Oh, so this is actually the district you live in?
Yes, it is. It is. Although when anybody asks me, I tell them I live in Jim Clyburn's district. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. Wow, that is so. You don't even claim to. I heard that, Carol. I don't blame you. But now, Carol Fowler with us, the chair of the Democratic Party in South Carolina. Okay, so tell us a little about the demographics in that. That's District 2.
It's District 2.
Okay, tell us about the
It's an interesting district if you're at all familiar with South Carolina. This district stretches from Columbia, which is right in the middle of the state, and that urban area, and then through Lexington County, which is where Joe Wilson lives, which is a big Republican county that is a bedroom community kind of place, and then down through several small rural counties to Beaufort and Hilton Head. Now, with Lexington and then Beaufort and Hilton Head, those are two big Republican areas.
Okay.
And it has made it impossible to elect a Democrat in that district. But we came much closer last time. We have the same candidate again this time, and he's been working for 2 years, and he is today raising money like crazy.
Yeah.
He has raised more money today, I believe, and I haven't been able to check this, than he raised last time, aside from the money he and his family put into it.
Wow.
So people have been going to his website and given to elect him over Joe Wilson, and we just might do it this time.
Yeah, well, I hope so, and I think you're going to have a whole nation of people who will be willing to descend upon District 2 to be supportive of that.
And we will welcome them. We will put them to work.
I'm certain you will. But let's rewind to